Grandmaster is the highest rank in the Cookie Run Kingdom arena. With that, it's also the hardest, so much so that only a few thousand people can get in it each season. So many of us have never even been in it in the first place. And if you're one of those people, if you've never made Grandmaster, you need to sit down and watch this video because I am about to help you out. So I'm going to be going over 7 things to help you reach that golden rank. Now, starting with number 1, and that is going to be the small boosts matter. Now, I can't emphasize this enough, and I really want to drive this point home. The small boosts, the laboratory, the landmarks, and more all just stack, and they really play a part in the ability of your cookie's power level that you just don't expect. Now, aside from the magic laboratory, we've also got the statue of astral radiance. Not heroic radiance, I'm sorry. As you guys can see, based off of what level you have, this boosts your attack, defense, HP, and then a few other kingdom benefits from there as well. But then on top of that, guys, we've got the laboratory. Do not sleep on the laboratory. So the laboratory allows you to literally boost every stat for every cookie based off of different concepts of what you want. If you want to focus on defense, you can go defense first. If you want to just do attack, as you can see here, I went all in on attack right away. But the point being is that these small boosts matter, and you really want to invest in them when you can. And a third form of that small boost is going to be the landmarks. Now, these are very, very useful and very easy to miss if you're not paying attention. So the landmarks are bought in the shop when you get them with gems. Now, you might be thinking, why would I spend gems on a landmark? You know, what's the benefit to this? And it'll tell you what the benefit is. For example, this train station, this has less train station time. Not useful for the cookies. But if we go all the way down here to the cake tower, you're going to see HP plus 39%, and that's not even maxed out. If we go even further down, we got to pull up one of my favorites, the sleeping jelly lion statue. All cookies attack plus 10%. Guys, this is great. These kinds of stat boosts really change the game for you. And since we're talking about these small boosts, it's important to mention number 2. So number 2 is to join or create a guild. Now, many of you probably are in a guild. Many of you might even be in an inactive guild, but this is really where I want to focus. Be in an active guild. Now, if you're able to join one, great. If you don't want to make your own, go ahead, feel free. But a guild is extremely useful. So for my guild, as you can see here, all cookies attack plus 9.4%, defense, HP, and then on top of that, you get other bonus effects as well, such as for the Cookie Alliance, such as coins from battle, and more. Now, even here, we can see the specific effects, and the guild is really one of the best ways to get those small boosts on top of your cookies with literally having to do nothing. If you join a guild and just, stay in it, don't get kicked out, you literally get the benefit of it without having to do anything. So really, it's just a waste of an opportunity to not be in a guild, and plus it's fun to play the game with other people. So definitely recommend joining and trying to be active in a guild, or creating one if you want to go that way too. So that leads me to number 3, and this is very important and very, very important. And I see a lot of newer players, but also some longer term players struggle with this, and that is pick the right cookie, not based off the power. Now, it's pretty deceiving, to be honest, when you log on to the game and you see golden cheese cookie has nearly 1 million power, and then you look at, let's see, pure vanilla, and he has 380,000. Off the top of your head, you're thinking, well, I know pure vanilla is a healer, but golden cheese must be extremely useful for it to be at 1 million. So if I focus more on damage than that, then that would work out better. Or even a better example comparing 2 likelihoods is Mystic Flower to pure vanilla. You see this and think, oh, well, Mystic Flower has 70,000 more power. She must be the better healer. That is not the case, ladies and gentlemen. It's important that you pick the correct cookie and not the most powerful cookie, because power it's a nice stat to, base your cookie's strength off of, but it isn't the end all tell all. So for example, pure vanilla is without a doubt the best healer in the game right now. Mystic Flower is a fantastic second healer, you know what I mean? But pure vanilla is the best. But if we were going just by power, you would think Mystic Flower is easily the better choice. A second example for that would be White Lily in my Moonlight. Not the best example because they're not fully tapped out with the topping or the biscuit, but the point still stands that Moonlight has 1 million power for me. She's one of my favorite cookies. White Lily has 730,000. Now, they're both very useful in their own ways, but you would see this and think Moonlight must be the strongest cookie in the game. She's got more than a million power. That is not the case. So these are just some examples of what I want to emphasize of the proper cookies are much better than the higher power cookies. So then that leads me to number 4, which is very important when it comes to cookies as well. And that is using the resources wisely. Now, when I say resources, I mean 3 things. I mean the soul essences for epic and legendary. I mean the skill powders for the skills. And I mean the experience jelly for leveling up the cookies. These things are limited. I've been playing this game for a long time. I still do not have all the cookies at level 90 skill level. And I've been playing this game for like 2 years, man. Like 2 years. And I can't. You can't do it. So really, like, if there's some cookies you like, go ahead. It's a game meant to be fun. If you really like donut cookie, I mean, not donut cookie. If you really like donut, who's one of my favorite cookies. I keep calling him a cookie when he's a donut. So confusing. If you really like Space Donut, go ahead. I like the guy too. I immediately powered him up when I got him because I thought he was the cutest thing. But if you're just trying to, if you're focused on that, how to get into Grandmaster, and you were trying to make that PvP team, you really want to focus on getting the correct cookies up using your resources wisely. Now, for example, if I was a newer player coming in, I would focus on a few cookies: Pure Vanilla, Burning Spice, Dark Cacao, Shadow Milk, Stormbringer, Wind Archer. Basically the newer legendary and beast cookies. Basically. The new epics are also useful, but when you're a new player and they throw a lot at you, you have limited resources. So really you want to focus on those. But we're actually in the arena now. Woohoo! Congratulations. You made it to step 5, the team building portion. So as you can see here, some of the cookies that I mentioned on step 4 for ones that you should invest in. Step 5 is simple. You're gonna need multiple teams. And the reason why is it's straightforward. Some teams work better than others against other teams. For example, this team that you see here is the main team that I use to climb up the ranks. The season just started. I made a push to elite, and then because of the reasons I'll mention in step 7, I ended up falling 4 down. It's a bit of a waiting period. But what number 5 is building these teams and counters to them. Now, for example, you see here, right here, I got Burning Spice, Elder Fairy, and that setup, but then right here, it's Stormbringer and Elder Fairy instead. And then if we go to number 3, I've actually got Crimson Coral up front. Now, the reason why it's important to have multiple teams is, as I mentioned, there isn't going to be one team that dominates the arena. You are always going to, especially in the higher ranks, when you start getting around Grandmaster, you're going to hit those teams that you seem to lose to every time. And the reason why is because that's a counter to the team you're running. Now, counters are a bit of a higher level comp, which is why I'm mentioning in this video for how to reach Grandmaster, is that once you get to that Elite 2, 1 in Grandmaster level, the team that carried you up there might start hitting holes, might start getting countered. So that's why you have to develop multiple teams to counter the counter. And you'll get to the point where you realize what teams work better against others, whether you do your own research on YouTube and from content providers like me, or whether or not you just figure it out on your own. But it's very important to make multiple teams and set them up in a way that you can counter any possibilities. So that leads me to number 6. Now, number 6 is a simple one. A simple but extremely important. These last 3 steps are the most critical ones. So step 6 is just simple. Get more tickets. Now, you might be thinking, oh, wow, this is so straightforward. Of course, the more tickets you get, the more you can battle, the more you can go up. But really, it's the only way. If you don't go out of your way to get extra tickets, you aren't going to be able to hit Grandmaster. Now, tickets are pretty easy to get. You know what I mean? Like, they're one of the few things I actually do spend gems on, because getting up to the high Grandmaster ranks gets you some pretty good rewards. I'll spend 5,000, 6,000 gems in order to get 30,000. You know what I mean? That's a good return on investment. But the point being is that there's multiple ways to get these. So as mentioned here, you can get it from just buying with the gems. As you see here, you're able to use mileage points, which I don't recommend doing because mileage points have other much more important use cases, but you can also buy them in the arena shop. You can usually also buy them in the Rainbow Shell Gallery, but right now you can't. Speaking of which, I gotta do that. So generally what you'll be able to see is available 5, 10 each. So you'll be able to get 50 arena tickets, which for a pretty cheap Rainbow Shell price, which is a very useful way. Then on top of that, if you actually go to the shop and then go down to event shop, it'll generally have right here some more tickets. Of course, it's for gems usage, but if you're really trying to make that push, like I said, spending some 5,000 gems to win 30,000, absolutely worth it. You know what I mean? You get the rainbow cubes too. The rainbow cubes are like gold in this game, honestly. By the time you realize you don't have them, it's gone. But that leads me to number 7. And number 7 is the most important one, and that is the bait team. Now, as you guys can see here, I've got a legit front-facing 5. You know what I mean? This is not a group of guys that you would want to meet in an alley, except for, you know, Pure Vanilla. He's a cool guy. But Wind Archer is too. Elder Fairy is too. Point being, you don't want to come across a group of 5 random people in an alleyway. But going on from there, my defenders, on the other hand, are just the normal trio. Now, the reason being is this bait team, people will see this deadly 3 and they'll think, oh, wow, that's an easy win. Why wouldn't I do that battle? And they're right. It is an easy win. You will take a loss, but 2 things that are important to note. Losing in a defense loses you less trophies than losing an attack. Number 2, losing a defense loses far less trophies than winning a revenge battle does. So for example, as you guys can see here, I lost 2 trophies on this field defense with this team. If I were to battle them, all depending on, you know, what their trophies are. As you can see, I'm 200 higher, but let's fast forward it. So I lost 2 trophies and I'm in a completely different rank from these people. Lost 2 trophies. Let's see how many I get. 9. I got quadruple the amount of trophies for beating somebody who was lower ranked than me with a worse team because I put out this bait team. Now, what this allows me to do is I get to go through all of these revenge battles, all of them. And it's even some of them are going to be other bait teams. Look at this guy. Okay, that's not a bait team, but you get the point. Is that sometimes you'll also just notice teams that are completely, as I mentioned the first fight, completely, you're out of their league. You know, you'll be able to easily beat these people because they're shooting above their league because you've got the bait team. You know, they're thinking, oh, this guy sucks. I'm going to attack this team. And then boom, you come in with the revenge battle. And all these battles, this is hundreds of trophies that are going to go towards pushing you into Grandmaster. Now, this is the reason why it's such a big deal. When I first started getting into that Grandmaster level, it was at a point where I'd hit Elite 1 and then I just couldn't break through. It was just difficult. Every team was better than mine. I didn't have it properly set up. It was just difficult. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. The only reason why I was able to get into Grandmaster and get those sweet rewards for the first time is because of the revenge battles. I went through all my defenses, and at that point, if you're going to begin like a few trophies of battle, because a lot of the people that are below you are lowest trophies, so you get less. But I'm telling you right now, the difference between Elite 1 and Grandmaster is 1 trophy. 1. So when that 1 trophy is all you need, these revenge battles will push you there. So that's how you go ahead and reach Grandmaster, guys. Remember to leave a like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button as well. I enjoy making these videos, and you guys make them a lot easier to make too. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video.